Hello everyone, and welcome to your top 5 to stay alive for July 2021. And I thought I'd get this one out before the 4th of July in case I lose any of these. My son-in-law bought enough fireworks to actually take out Fort Sumter again. Don't need that. So anyways, I'm counting these digits. Want them to be here. Just letting you know, we spend a lot of time preparing for this. I'm in hair and makeup for like 30 minutes to an hour. We shoot in complete Technicolor. I mean, this is pretty high rating stuff here that we do here for your benefit. Shall we begin our top 5 to stay alive for today, July 2nd, 2021? Here's a pop quiz. What's worse for your heart than smoking and being a full-fledged couch potato? Answer: not getting enough vitamin K2. You may be scratching your head over this one. I've told you plenty about how important vitamin D is, and we all know that C is vital, along with the B's and many more nutrients. But vitamin K? Well, that's why it's called the forgotten vitamin. But K2 is equally or even more important than all the others that you work so hard to get enough of. In fact, a new study has found that if you're low in K2, it can be a giant risk factor for heart disease. And other new research has discovered how it can lower cholesterol and even nip a diabetes diagnosis in the bud. So here's how to not only get more vitamin K2 in your diet, but to get the right kind. Unfortunately, practically all of us are deficient in vitamin K. It's found in lots of green leafy veggies, but eating them by the truckload still won't guarantee you're getting enough. That's because what we take in from green leafy veggies is K1, which our body converts into K2. But it's a very inefficient process, meaning we don't get as much as we should, even if we're eating greens at every meal. Keeping up with K is vital, and here's why. According to a new study published in the Journal of Curis, researchers found that countries around the world where people are typically deficient in K2, or vitamin K, the risk of dying and early death from heart disease was more than doubled. But a second analysis led by Dr. Norman Polak, a professor of pediatrics at the Georgia Prevention Institute, confirmed how vitamin K can actually prevent heart disease. Dr. Polak said that even he was amazed to see how it was able to lower bad cholesterol and triglycerides, and get this, the humble vitamin did so just as well as Big Pharma's medicines, but without any of the side effects. On top of those findings, Dr. Polak also discovered that vitamin can help prevent diabetes. And other research has shown how vitamin K can inhibit calcification of the arteries, otherwise known as hardening of the arteries or arteriosclerosis. Dr. Polak is hoping to duplicate those findings in several large studies he's doing. And that's on top of what we already know about vitamin K. Numerous studies out of Japan have found the vitamin can not only reverse bone loss, but increase bone density. And if you're taking a vitamin D supplement like CardioForLIfe, having enough K2 will be an extra boon to your bones. The two work together like a pair of superheroes where our bone health is concerned. And number 3, if you take calcium supplement, it's more important than ever to get enough vitamin K. Without it, calcium can end up in your arteries instead of your bones. Seriously, is there anything this vitamin can't do? A better way to get K than those leafy greens is through fermented foods such as natto, which is a strong-smelling, high-K fermented soy dish out of Japan, sauerkraut, and miso, another food made from fermented soy, but that tastes a whole lot better. And if you're looking for a good vitamin K2 supplement, be sure not to get a synthetic version. Find one that's made from natto or nattokinase. The only caution with K and green leafy veggies as well is that they can interfere with drugs taken to thin your blood, which is why I don't put it in CardioForLIfe. You take it to the doctor, he sees K2, he says you can't take this if you're taking a blood thinner, and a lot of you are on a blood thinner. But you could supplement K2 on its own. I recommend, 100 micrograms of K2 every day. You can get it anywhere. I get mine from Swanson Vitamins. All right, number 2. It took its sweet time getting here, but it looks like the summer weather is finally arriving. And if you own a dog, that means one thing. At your next vet appointment, you can expect to get an earful about how important it is to start your pooch on a flea and tick meds. But before you do, let Fido pop that first pill. There's an urgent warning you need to hear, because one of the top-selling flea drugs on the market today has been linked to everything from organ failure to deaths, and the damage can start with the very first dose. Trifexis is a monthly chewable tablet that's supposed to protect our dogs from everything from fleas to heartworms. Sounds great. Its website even invites us to celebrate the bond with our pooches. But lots of pet parents learn the hard way how fragile the bond it can be after they gave their dogs Trifexis. Over the past couple of years alone, reports had poured in from all over the country of dogs collapsing and dying or going into organ failure and having to be euthanized after being given this drug. It took just one dose of Trifexis for Fergus, a Scottish Terrier, to lose all muscle control and go into liver failure. The initial reaction from taking that one pill was horrible, Fergus's owner recalled. The FDA has received more than 1,000 reports of dogs that died or had to be put down after taking Trifexis. Even the drug's manufacturer, Elanco, admits it has received over 1,500 calls about dogs, just like Fergus, who lost all muscle control after taking Trifexis, a condition called ataxia. Ataxia has even been added to the Trifexis label as possible side effect, along with seizures. Now, you'd think all these pet deaths would be enough for our government to put Trifexis in the doghouse and pull it off the market for good. One vet even said a couple of years back that there was no way the FDA would allow a product that is going to continue to hurt animals. Yeah, well, good luck with that. Trifexis is still sold everywhere, and lots of vets are still recommending it right now. We all know what a nuisance fleas can be, but I'm not about to let my Yorkie Poo Gracie anywhere near Trifexis, and I'm guessing you feel the same way about your dog. Fortunately, there are plenty of natural and completely safe ways to keep your pooch flea-free, such as regular citrus rubs. That's right, fleas are repelled by citrus, so squeeze a lemon or orange and lightly rub it into your dog's fur. Frequent baths. Fleas are actually washed away pretty easily by water, so giving your pup regular baths with a light shampoo can work wonders. And finally, combing them out. Buy a good flea comb and make sure you're performing a regular checks. That will help you spot a flea problem before they get out of hand. Nobody likes fleas. All right, topic number 3. It's a warning you won't be seeing on the label or likely even hearing from your doctor. Using their popular, easy-to-find, over-the-counter allergy nasal sprays can rob you of your vision. These drugs contain a steroid that can cause you to develop what's called posterior subcapsular cataract. That's right, cataracts. Or perhaps something even worse, glaucoma. And that's not the only one of your senses it's taken from you. But even if you read the package up and down and all around, you still won't be informed of the risks, due to one of the most lax and dangerous FDA practices out there called the drug-to-over-the-counter switch. Drug makers can get away with keeping such awful side effects a deep, dark secret. At one time, you could only use nasal sprays like Flonase and Nasacort under a doctor's orders. Going to see your doctor, getting a prescription for the drug, and getting it filled at your pharmacy. Possibly even chatting with your pharmacist about it would make you take that med pretty seriously. You might even take a look at the insert that lists the side effects. And if that were the case with the drug version of Flonase, you'd learn that using it may result in the development of glaucoma and or cataracts. In fact, right up on the very top of the prescription version label, it warns that close monitoring should be done for those vision stealers. On top of that, the prescription patient information sheet says that you should have a regular eye exam while using Flonase. But now, thanks to the FDA kowtowing to the drug makers and allowing risky meds to come out from behind the pharmacy counter, you could load up a truckload with the over-counter version of Flonase if you wanted to, and the over-counter version is exactly the same strength as the drug kind. And all you find on the over-the-counter packages is a cryptic notice to ask a doctor before use if you have had glaucoma or cataracts, and to stop using it if you have new changes to your vision. Those statements don't quite have the same punch to them as the prescription ones. Now do they? And drug makers don't duplicate those prescription version warnings for one reason and one reason only. The FDA says they don't have to. And don't expect to be warned by your doctor, as many physicians are still unaware of this connection. Instead, unsuspecting users of these allergy sprays often have to find the hard way. Another side effect that was important enough to land on the prescription Flonase package, but not on the over-the-counter one, is that this drug can do to your sense of smell and taste. Scores of visitors to the People's Pharmacy website have complained about for years, often saying that their doctors shrug off their problem as if it doesn't exist. One reader recently recounted how his sense of smell never returned after using one of these steroid sprays. I really miss the smell of the ocean, he says. Another told how she couldn't even smell the gas leaking from her stove when she was standing right in front of it. That was my wake-up call, and I have never used Flonase again. And you don't have to either. If your allergies are making you miserable, there are a few natural remedies you can try that will bring relief and let you keep your vision and sense of smell. Saline sprays and neti pots used to pour warm salt water into your nasal passages are extremely helpful, especially if you have chronic sinus issues. Butterbur supplements are excellent for allergies, or to unclog a stuffy nose, try adding a few drops of eucalyptus oil to a bowl of hot water, putting a towel over your head, and breathing in the steam for a few minutes. It works. Topic number 4. Is this FDA-approved weight loss scheme the most dangerous way to drop some pounds there is? Despite the fact that gastric balloon concept was found to be deadly decades ago, several types of this balloon in the stomach idea have been cleared for takeoff in the U.S. Now, however, we've just learned from the FDA about 5 people who recently died shortly after these inflatable devices were placed inside of them. But instead of putting the brakes on this crazy idea immediately, you can expect the agency will simply be puttering about, waiting to learn more. It says we'll hear from them again as soon as new information becomes available. Tell that to the 5 dead people. And that may turn out to be the perfect example of too little too late, especially for someone who just wanted to lose a little weight, not realizing they could be putting their life on the line in the process. As of now, the FDA has approved 3 types of gastric balloons, 2 of which, the Elwardt and Reshape, were used in the patients who died. The devices are pushed down your throat into your belly and then inflated with the saline solution, where they're supposed to bounce around for 4 to 6 months. The idea, of course, is that with this obstruction in your sitting in your stomach, you'll eat less. But problems with these devices are nothing new. This past February, the FDA sent out a Dear Doctor letter warning that both Elwardt and Reshape can spontaneously overinflate, resulting in intense abdominal swelling of the abdomen, difficulty breathing, and vomiting. Doctors will also learn that balloons can seriously injure the pancreas, causing acute pancreatitis. Now we're hearing that these 5 unanticipated deaths may have been caused by gastric and esophageal perforation or intestinal obstruction, and 3 of those people died just a few days after the balloons were inserted. But when a large group of doctors who specialize in inserting gastric balloons say on their website that the procedure can be compared to expeditions into the unknown, that should make anyone pause before rushing into it. Actually, this particular expedition was originally started back in 1985, and it was almost a disaster from the get-go. The device used back then, called the Guerin-Edwards gastric bubble, could collapse inside of you, causing life-threatening intestinal blockages. At least 1 patient died from its use during its first year on the market, and the experience of people who have the new versions of these things wiggling around inside of them tell us that it's still really a bad idea. Users of a support group forum report nausea, vomiting, horrible acid reflux, pain, and stomach swelling. But the possibilities are actually even more horrific. The Reshape balloon contains a drug called methylene blue, which is released into your system if the device ruptures, and yes, that can happen. The company that makes Reshape admits that the consequences of acute exposure to the drug, should that occur, are not known. You'd know about that risk if you were allowed to read the label on the thing, but most patients probably never get to see what's being put inside of them before it ends up there. And for the icing on the cake, the FDA is considering letting another one of these ridiculously risky balloons on the market. One that you swallow like a pill and then your doctor inflates in your stomach. Look, even if you come through this procedure unscathed, any of the pounds you've lost by eating like a bird while it's in your belly will come right back if you don't follow a careful eating exercise plan. So, for all the time and money, the procedure isn't covered by most insurance and will cost you about $8,000, and risks involved, why not go directly to a healthier diet? That way you can save the balloons for more festive occasions. And finally, topic number 5. Studies before approving drugs. Wait, what? The Federal Food and Drug Administration really doesn't conduct any scientific studies on the very drugs it approves. No, it doesn't. And the facts surrounding this reality will shock and anger you. This point was recently brought out again by the Alliance for Natural Health in a short video made in response to a bogus public broadcasting system documentary in which the taxpayer-funded network claimed that vitamins and nutrient supplements are not regulated at all by the federal government. While that is simply not true, PBS nevertheless repeated the claim, echoing what other government officials, big pharma representatives, and operatives of the traditional medical industry have said. The claim is that drugs are tightly regulated while supplements are not regulated at all, the video says. This is totally false. By a recent documentary from the Public Broadcasting Services Frontline made the claim anyway. The documentary went on to claim that supplements may actually be dangerous, even though there's a wealth of evidence noting that they are among the safest things humans can ingest when it comes to maintaining good health. And I give to you every year a report that comes out that shows how many people died from taking natural vitamins, minerals, or herbs. And every year, this many. Okay. More at risk of dying from a prescription drug. What's more, as is usually the case when a government entity is shilling for big pharma, the Alliance noted that PBS Frontline never made mention of the fact that prescription medications pose the real danger, killing more than 100,000 people every year. Also, the documentary completely whiffs on the fact that supplements must be manufactured according to strict federal guidelines, and both the FDA and the Federal Trade Commission oversee the supplement market. To think otherwise is to believe that other things we ingest, like our food, are simply unregulated. But then comes the kicker, and again, this is something that Frontline failed to mention. The FDA itself does no scientific studying of any drugs the agency approves. When a new drug is approved, the video continues, the FDA analyzes the results of the studies conducted by the company applying for approval. That's right, you heard me. Drug companies conduct their own studies on their own products in order to gain market approval. How's that for inducing honesty and transparency? The drug maker that has a direct monetary stake in getting its drug approved gets to conduct its own study. That's really the epitome of foxes watching the henhouse. Wouldn't you agree? But would a drug maker actually bring a drug to market without fully testing it, given the risk entailed in terms of lawsuits and injury? Yeah, they would. That's exactly what happened on more than one occasion. More than 60,000 people died were eventually attributed to Vioxx, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory in the NSAID class used mainly for the acute pain of arthritis and pain related to menstruation. It has since been recalled from the market. And more than 80,000 people died from taking Avandia, the Alliance noted further. Avandia is an oral diabetic medicine that was designed to help control blood sugar levels in type 2 diabetics. Supplements are safer than food. Together, these two drugs have produced more than 140,000 deaths, and yet they were both approved by the FDA based on what? The manufacturer's studies. It's important to remember, as the Alliance pointed out, that about 75% of the retracted drug studies are recalled because they contain what? Fraudulent data and information. And this is getting more and more common as time goes on, and there's more money at stake. Another major difference between prescription medications and supplements, the Alliance noted, was that manufactured drugs always introduce a foreign substance or a chemical into our bodies, which can sometimes be toxic enough to kill us. Supplements, by comparison, are generally made from natural substances. There is nothing foreign about them, and in effect, there have already been thousands of years of worth of human trials. After receiving scores of complaints from viewers, the PBS network admitted that greater context should have been provided that made that clear. Despite some serious examples of bad outcomes on the program, this is not a public health calamity. You think? Man alive. And now let's move on to testimonials. My experience with the product CardioForLife and the company, the Health Guardian, has been one of the very best in relation to my long-term use of supplements and herbs for improved health. This particular formulation, CardioForLife, has helped calm my cardiovascular system and keep me regularly getting all clear results from my cardiologist. What a delight. We are truly thankful for this particularly good product, CardioForLife. Thanks for that, David. What a great place to go to fix your blood pressure. Dr. Harry's fabulous and a breath of fresh air, but most importantly, so knowledgeable. I've been taking his CardioForLife for 3 months, and my numbers for my blood pressure are great. This product also helped in getting my pulse back to normal numbers rather than being high all the time. Thank you, Dr. Harry, and God bless you. Thanks, Dominic. I can say that CardioForLife is an excellent product. Having compared it with others, I believe that it is best by far. I have no regrets whatsoever in recommending it to whoever is seriously concerned about his or her health. It gives one a great feeling of well-being and satisfaction. Not a bad side effect. Thanks for that, Grace. I am a naturopathic doctor specializing in digestion and colon cleansing. My clients love the Health Guardian Cleanse as well as CardioForLife to keep the bowels moving, to keep the energy and reduce plaque from the arteries. Thanks for that, Dr. Carla. And here's one. Thank you, CardioForLife has kept my brother alive after he had two heart attacks 10 years ago. He refuses to take the cholesterol meds due to the side effects. He's learning about herbal medicine and swears by your CardioForLife. He can't get it in Canada, so I ship it to him from the USA. So thank you. So thank you. Thanks for that, Catherine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up our 4th of July special. By the way, we are going to have 10% off. All you have to do is there's a coupon box on the website, or when you call in, just mention the word freedom, and you'll get 10% off that order. So there you go. By the way, final note, we had a tornado touch down directly across the street. In fact, I opened my front door. The house there is gone. We had damage, not as bad as that, but through it all, we had our biggest month ever in June 2021. I think dating back to 2010 was our biggest month, and so we surpassed that by at least $10,000. So, or not 10,000, like $100,000. So I want to thank all of you, and for that you are rewarded with getting 10% off your next order. Just remember, coupon FREEDOM. And with that, I say God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.